Have you ever been put on the spot in a meeting, in a presentation where someone throws you an unexpected question or asks for your opinion, but you haven't had the time to formulate your thoughts, so you start to ramble, and then you start to lose your train of thought because you're rambling, and towards the end, the ums, the ahs come out, and you leave it feeling like, I could have said this, I could have said that, I have ideas that can contribute, but somehow it's not showing up. If you feel like this, there are 8 what I call communication bridges that you can use to move the conversation forward, to focus your attention on sharing what matters. So if you find yourself rambling, not thinking fast enough, try out these 8 communication bridges. The first type of bridge is the context bridge. Before you dive into any discussion, you want to first get everyone onto the same page. And so you want to use context bridges like these to start the conversation. Start by saying things like, at a high level, this is our goal, this is the problem, and this is the solution we're working on. These simple sentence starters are going to help you focus your thoughts towards things that move the conversation forward, so you stop rambling. Because after the context, we're going to move on to the second thing, change bridges. Change bridges help you emphasize a change. Usually we're having a meeting, we're having some sort of discussion because there is a change. In most discussions, the most attention-grabbing thing you can say is about change. Here's the before, here's the after. Here's where we were now, here's where we are, and here's where we're going. So you want to use bridges that show that change. You can highlight trends, like here's what's changing. We're shifting from X to Y. You can highlight crucial moments by saying we're at an inflection point, we're at a tipping point, we are crossing a crucial threshold. Of course, you can emphasize progress. We were here before, here is where we are, here's where we're going. For additional bridges, I've collected 74 bridges across these 8 topics, all for free below for you to download, so you can check that out as well. Now, once we've highlighted the change, the next thing we want to talk about is the insight. Insight bridges are one of my favorites because they give people that aha moment. Some of the ones I like to use are counterintuitively, here's what most people miss, and the deeper insight is. This not only signals to your listeners that you have thought things through and you have noticed things that others haven't. Also, it moves the conversation forward because based on that insight, you're going to be able to do the next thing, which is analysis bridge. People love analysis. So you want to use bridges to point that out. The evidence shows, the data shows. If we break it down, here is what's happening. When we compared X and Y, this is what we found. You're starting to see, right? The bridge really cuts to the point. Instead of getting lost in the details and losing your train of thought, it creates a flow. And from analysis, we're going to the next thing, which is a logical transition bridge. Just by adding these bridges into your conversation, it will help people come with you instead of getting lost in the details, not knowing where they are and where they're headed. Classic one is first, second, and third, but you also have others like this leads to. Given this, you have and so, and but, and on the other hand. And it's always great to end with as a result. This is where we've landed. Which leads me to bridge number 6, which is summary bridges. Never let your main message get lost, so you always want to progressively summarize for your listeners. The bottom line is, if you remember one thing, focus on this. And to bring it back to the goal, here's what we need to focus on. These are especially essential when you have longer discussions, longer meetings. Always help people understand where they are by summarizing, and then move on to number 7, which is the refinement bridge. Sometimes you need to explain things differently or add details. Sometimes what other people said are great, but you want to refine it so everyone gets to the actual essence. So some of the bridges you can use are 1, let me break this down further. 2, here's another way of looking at it. 3, a useful analogy might be. All of these and more inside the description help you get at what is it that we're actually talking about. How can we refine the ideas at hand? Because towards the end, the 8th bridge is the action bridge. What do we do with all of this? Never leave any meeting, any discussion without concrete next steps. Bridges like our immediate priority is, here's what we'll do next. And the deliverables are something by the state. These bridges are so simple, yet when you use them intentionally, you'll see the result immediately. Start by picking 2 or 3 that you feel most comfortable with and try it in your next meeting immediately. And take a look at how everyone's eyes light up when you start talking about the change, when you start refining ideas, when you start bringing the summary and bringing it to next steps. More bridges in the description, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.